Hello, I'm Bianca Beach. I am a Pilates instructor and an actress, and today I'm going to share with you guys a 30-minute mat Pilates session after I answer a few questions about me. So I was diagnosed when I was 21 officially, but I had 6 eye surgeries when I was 11 years old. So I wasn't officially diagnosed, but we knew basically since the surgeries happened that I had high eye pressure and that I needed to keep it as low as possible. But glaucoma was diagnosed at 21. I'm on 5 eye drops. I've had 4 SLT procedures, but that has brought my vision to a very stable place now, which I'm very excited about. And let's see, how did I get into Pilates? Well, I was 19 in physical therapy with sciatica because I'd been so inactive from 11 to 19. And my PT recommended that I try Pilates. And it was the most wonderful thing. I hadn't moved my body since I was a kid. And it was so freeing, and I could do it without extensive strain in my head, which in turn would keep my eye pressure low. So I went into training and learned more about the things that I could and couldn't do with my body. And the way that you can figure that out yourself with exercise is, are you feeling a lot of tension, a lot of strain in your upper body, in your head? If you're holding your breath, that's not good. You constantly want to be breathing. The longer you hold your breath, the higher your eye pressure is going to spike. So always be breathing in and out, deep breaths, expanding through your rib cage. And that is the really big key in exercise to maintaining low eye pressure while you're working out. And it's going to be different for everyone's body. So all you have to do is listen to yourself and what it needs, and don't worry about what somebody else next to you is doing. That's one of my biggest pieces of advice when you're working out, especially in a class. Do your own pace, what works for you, take breaks when you're needed, and it'll be great. And let's see, any other advice I would give? I would say focus on what you can do. I think as glaucoma patients, we spend so much time listening to what we can't do, what we're not allowed to do. And I've found for my physical and mental health that if I focus on what I can do and I find excuses to do things versus not to do things, I'm overall a much happier and a much more positive person. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy the mat class. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me. It's on my website at biancabeach.com.
Hello everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Go ahead and take a seat on your mat. We're gonna have your feet slightly out from your knees, feet in line with your hip bones. Place your hands behind your knees. We're gonna lift the spine all the way up as tall as you can and then curl it down. It's just a small movement just to warm up the very bottom of that spine, your lumbar spine, curling up and down. We're gonna inhale, reach up to a flat back. Exhale, curl it back down. Make sure you're using your core on these ones. So we're gonna inhale up and exhale, sink it back down. You wanna keep your shoulders down for this too. Don't let those rise up into your ears. Inhale up, exhale down. Really use your breath through the whole session. That's gonna be really important in keeping your eye pressure low. Deep breaths. All right, from here, we're gonna take our arms out and then curl your spine all the way down the mat. And your hands are gonna rest right by your sides. Go ahead and kick your feet back so they're closer into your hips now, feet in line with your hip bones. You can see me touching my hips there. Find where their bones stick out and go ahead and line your feet up with that. And you wanna make sure your pelvis is not tilted too far one way or the other. So go ahead and find that neutral position. Take a deep breath in. And we're gonna pelvic curl. We're gonna exhale, curling that spine all the way up onto your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and exhale, curling it back down. And you want to keep your pelvis reaching toward your face the entire time until that last second when it drops. So curl it all the way up. Exhale, curl it back down. Press your arms, press your hands into the mat. Use it for support. Tip that pelvis, let it drop, and then take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl. Peeling the spine up off of the floor. Take a deep breath in at the top, and then exhale, curl it down. I really want us to loosen up that lower spine here. So we're just gonna do a couple of mini ones. Just tip your pelvis in toward your face and then drop it back down. Practice that motion a couple of times. See what it feels like for your body and get a feel for it. All right, and then we're gonna get ready to curl it all the way back up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl it down. All right, from here, go ahead and lift your hands up over your head. We're going to take your hands behind your head, elbows wide, all the way out to the sides. Try and get them down on the sides of the mat if you can. We're going to exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. So we're doing a chest lift, crunching, squeezing your core, lifting up, looking at your knees, and then bring it back down. If you're feeling any strain in your neck, go ahead and push your head into your hands, and that will relieve any kind of neck pressure. Breathing, exhale up, inhale down. And now we're gonna go into some pulses. Pulse it up, little mini ones, crunch, breathe. Deep breaths. Curl it down. We're gonna go into some rotations now. Gonna go ahead and lift back up, and we're gonna rotate over to the right side, crunch it up from there. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it to the other side, crunch it up. 10, 9. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. All right. Go ahead and take a quick break here. Hug your knees to your chest, stretch out that lower back. Feel that core turned on. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, and we're also gonna warm your hips up a little bit, stretch those out. Go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left knee. And if you want a deeper stretch, you can go ahead and push on that right knee forward, and you'll feel your hip rotate more. Deep breaths. And then we're gonna switch sides. Left ankle over your right knee, and you can see there I'm pushing my left knee forward. This is my tighter side. Keeping those shoulders down. You never wanna have any tension lift up there. All right, go ahead and drop both feet down. We're gonna go into leg lifts. So go ahead and take your left foot out. We're gonna hinge from your hip and lift. So your leg is at a 90-degree angle, just like I'm doing. Exhale, squeeze your core to lift. You're gonna feel this down the front of your leg if you're doing it correctly. That's your hip flexor. It's a really small muscle, but a really important one. We're gonna warm it up so we can work it later. Deep breaths. You wanna try and keep that knee still. Don't bend the leg, keep it as bent as it already is, and then switch. Exhale up, inhale down. Deep breaths, in, out, in, out. Keep it going. Almost there. Okay, we're gonna pause, take the other leg up now. We're gonna switch, alternating those 90-degree angles. You're gonna feel this more in your lower back and in your core. So squeeze your core, put your hands there if you need to, activate those muscles. Every time you exhale, squeeze your belly button down into your spine, breathe deeper. The more you squeeze that core, the more of the work you're gonna get in all those muscles. Deep breaths, switch, switch. Your toes are barely touching the mat. And then go ahead and rest all the way down. Take a few deep breaths, and from here, we're gonna straighten your legs all the way out. Reach your arms up over your head. We're gonna connect your legs together here. So squeeze those feet together, use your inner thighs, and we're gonna take a deep breath in and out. Stretch your body, feel the length, and then we're gonna inhale, arms and head up. Exhale, curl the rest of your body up and over your legs. Keep those shoulders down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curling the spine back down onto the mat. The whole time your legs are together. Arms up. And then we're gonna inhale again. Arms and head. Exhale, squeeze your core, rest of your body all the way up. Deep breaths in. Exhale, sink it down. Up and over. Deep breath in, arms and head. Exhale, curl it up. You want to keep your arms as parallel to the floor as possible the whole time. We got one more. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl it down, pulling that belly button away from you. Good. Up and over. Good. Inhale, exhale, all the way up. And then from here, we're gonna stack your spine, lift up to a flat back position, curling all the way up there. And then we're gonna open your legs out to the sides a bit. We're gonna go into spine stretch. So curl your spine forward and down, really reach from that lower spine and then stack it back up. So you're imagining you're peeling yourself off of a wall. Tuck your chin, dip your head, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, stretch, and then reverse it, stack it back up. Deep breaths, exhale down, inhale, pause, exhale, curl it back up. See how much length you can get through that spine. And then we're just gonna reach over to your left leg, grab onto your foot and stretch it down. Do a side stretch here, a hamstring stretch. And you can't see it because the video is cut off, but the more you flex your foot here, the more of a stretch you're gonna get through the back of that leg. Over to the other side, deep breaths. And if your hamstrings are super tight and you can't do that, then just go ahead and point your feet, and that will be a little bit easier on those hamstrings. And then we're gonna bring your legs together and go ahead and stretch it all the way forward. Grab onto your feet if you can reach them, pull all the way down, and try and let that lower back release. Will it to release. See how much stretch and length you can get through the lower spine. We often avoid the lower spine, but that's one of the best parts. All right, we're gonna stack the spine back up. And then from there, lift your feet back onto the mat, and then we're gonna curl back down. Okay, once you're there, we're gonna go into what's called 100 prep. So we're gonna lift your legs into your tabletop position, legs in a 90-degree angle, knees squeezed together. Lift your arms and then all the way up. So we're gonna inhale down, exhale, head and chest, arms come up, look at your knees. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze that core and lift. And bring it down. And even though your arms are coming up and over your head, you don't want to let your shoulders come up. So keep those shoulders squeezed down behind you. You'll feel that in your upper back. And don't let those knees drift apart. Squeeze your knees together the whole time. All right, now we're gonna grab onto your right knee, take your left leg out, and then we're gonna switch. Breathe, switch, shoulders down, switch, switch, switch. Short breaths, switch, switch. Good, keep it going. Deep breaths. Switch, switch, switch and hold with that left leg, lift and lower, just mini ones. Don't bring it all the way down to the mat. Now we're working those hip flexors we warmed up earlier. Deep breaths, short ones. Exhale up, inhale down. Good, switch, other leg, 10, 9, 8, drop those shoulders. 6, good, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, second round. We're gonna switch back over to that left leg, stretch it out, lift and lower. And it's okay if you can't get your leg fully straight, go as far as you can. Last one, switch. One more round of 10, lift and lower, 10. And last one, bring it in, go ahead and bring it down. Hug your knees to your chest again. Take a rest. Take some deep breaths here. Release any tension in your body. Okay, and then we're gonna open your arms out to the sides, flip your palms down, You're gonna use your arms for support. Press them down into the floor, drop your shoulders, engage your core, tip your knees over to the right side, squeeze your core, bring it center, tip it over to the left. And when you tip, you wanna let that hip come up and then bring it back down. You want your knees to stay glued together the whole time. Don't let one knee lift up higher than the other. Imagine you've taped a ruler to the top of your knees. The ruler shouldn't shift around. It should stay in a straight line the whole time. Inhale over to the right. Exhale, squeeze center. Inhale over to the left. Exhale, squeeze your obliques, bring it center. Deep breaths. Inhale over. Exhale, center. Inhale to the left. Exhale, center. Really use that breath. Squeeze your core down. Belly button back into your spine. Exhale, bring it center. Over to the right. To the left. All right. Then from here, bring your arms back down to your sides and stretch your legs all the way out on the mat. Lengthen that body. Okay, from here, we're gonna lift your right leg up and then go ahead and reach your hands behind your knee. We're gonna do some nerve glides to stretch out those hamstrings and some nerves if you've got some tight ones like I do. I was dealing with sciatica for a while, so these ones were really good for helping me. If you have the same problem, this will probably feel really good for you. We're just kicking your heel up toward the ceiling and then bringing it back down. Stretching out the back of that leg at the very least. And then from here, go ahead and walk your hands up your leg, grab onto your foot if you can get there, or your ankle or the back of your calf, and just stretch. Okay, from here, we're gonna point and flex your foot. Point up, flex down. Then we're going to circles, so drop your heel down, circle it out to the side, out toward the right, and back up. Deep breaths, inhale up, exhale, circle, in, circle around, deep breaths, keep it going. Try and keep that leg straight, kick the heel up to the ceiling as much as you can. You don't want your hips to shift here, so you can see me touching my hip bones to feel if my pelvis is moving around or not. And if it is, just make your circles smaller. They can be as small or as big, whatever works for you to keep those hips in line. You'll feel this in your hip flexors too. And of course, your core is engaged, shoulders are down. All right, and then we're gonna drop that leg, pick up the other one. And just like before, we're gonna start with those nerve glides. So flex your foot, reach your hands up behind your knee, and then kick your heel up into the ceiling. Deep breaths. Exhale up, inhale down. Couple more. And then just like last time, reach up as far as you can, take a stretch, pull your shoulders down. And then go ahead and release that leg, point and flex your foot, arms back down to your sides. Your arms are going to be working a lot in these ones. You want to hold yourself down because of those circles. You're going to want to keep your body as still as possible, just isolating through that hip joint, circling around, out to the side, drop it down, out, inhale, exhale, deep breaths, quick breaths. Try and keep those hip bones still, keep it going. And then switch direction, other way, out to the side, drop it down. These are really good for hip mobility, and especially the older you get, the more you want your hips to stay stable. Okay, point your foot, bring that leg down, slide it all the way out. We're gonna squeeze your feet together and lift your arms up over your head. Feel the length in your body as far as you can. You can lift your shoulders up, you can stretch your feet out, send the energy up and down. And then we're gonna do another roll up into our next position. and then reach it far forward, and we're gonna stretch. And feel the extra length you've got through the back of those legs now after we did those stretches. And then we're gonna stack your spine, curl it back up. Okay, now we're gonna shift to what is called mermaid on the reformer, but we're doing a modified version of it on the mat so we can get some upper thoracic rotation in your back. Go ahead and take your hand out. We're gonna circle it around to your other one. Inhale, open that arm back out diagonally. Exhale, squeeze your core, circle it around. Inhale out, exhale, circle. You're gonna feel the rotation through your upper back. Inhale out, bring your head in line with your hand. Deep breaths. And you wanna look at your hip, that top hip. We're gonna do some rotation there. So bring it forward and then drop it down back. See how much range you can get in that hip. And it's gonna move a little bit while we're doing the mermaid exercise, but you wanna keep it relatively stable. You want most of the motion to be in your upper back. Deep breaths. 2 more. Exhale down. Inhale back out. Reaching your fingers together all the way over. Out. We're going to go farther on this next one for rotation. Reach your fingers underneath that little triangle you've created in your body and stretch it as far as you can. Take a few deep breaths, and then we're going to open out. Place your hands in line with each other, and we're going to curl your body all the way down. Bend those elbows. Drop your head. And curling back up all the way, articulating the spine up and then back down. Your head should be the last thing to drop and the first thing to curl back up. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale up on this one. Exhale, curl it back down. Deep breaths. And then from here, we're going to open all the way back out, lift up to center, and then we're going to switch sides. Okay, again, go ahead and line yourself up, and then we're going to take your right hand out to the side, place it down on the mat, fingers forward. Take that left arm, we're going to circle around, reaching toward those fingers. Inhale out. Exhale, squeeze your core to rotate, stretch through that upper back, and keep those shoulders down. All the way around, rotate as far as you can while still keeping those shoulders down. Inhale out. And again, with that hip, we're gonna drop the hip all the way down and then pull it forward, getting some hip rotation in there, stretching out that hip flexor, getting as much mobility as possible. And still breathing. Never want to stop breathing. No matter what we're doing, always breathe. And then we're going to bring it all the way down. Take that arm back out and circle around. Exhale. Inhale out. 3 more. Bring it down. And keep squeezing that core. The more you squeeze your core on these, the less of a cramp or less of a chance of a cramp you're going to get in your hip. So squeeze that core. On this last one, we're going to circle again, bring that hand underneath the triangle you've created and stretch it as far as possible. If you can't get your hand to the floor, you could grab onto your other arm to stretch it down or just reach it through, whatever's most comfortable for you. Place both hands on the mat in line with each other, and we're going to curl the spine all the way down. Drop your head. Inhale, curl, head first, shoulders, upper back, middle back, and drop it back down. Inhale, curling up. Exhale, curling down. You want to be careful not to crunch your neck too far back on these ones. Just curling up enough to lift those vertebrae in your neck. Okay, from here we're going to shift. And let's go into a child's pose. So drop it down, knees under. You can have your knees together or slightly separated, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then we're going to bring it up, line up your knees and your hands into a plank position. We're going to take that right foot, lift it up, and then bring your knee under and out. Bring it under, inhale out, exhale, squeeze, in, up, in, up. Keep it going. Last one, glute pulses. Lift and lower that leg. Pulse it up, point those toes, squeeze that right glute, lift and lower, squeeze your shoulders, and then drop your foot back down, child's pose. Quick rest, we're gonna go right back up to the other side this time. Back into your plank position, hands underneath your shoulders, and now it's your left leg, knees under and back up. We're doing 5, 3 more. Exhale, pull it under, inhale, stretch it up. Good. Last one, all the way under, all the way up. Hold it, glute pulses, lift and lower. Squeezing the left this time. Stabilizing with the rest of your body, squeezing your core, squeezing your upper back, and then drop it down back to that child's pose position. Deep breaths, taking a rest here. All right, from here, we're gonna lift back up. Knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. We're gonna do a cat stretch. So arch your back all the way up and then sink it down. And what I tend to see is people getting a lot of thoracic upper back extension, but not much lumbar lower back extension. So you wanna initiate the movement through your hips. So your hips turn down, sink the spine toward the mat. The rest of the spine follows like a chain, and then curl your hips in, squeeze your core to lift. You want to try and keep your hips right over your knees as much as possible. So all the extension and flexion through the spine is through the center. And now we're going to hover. We're going to take your right arm out, left leg out, and hold it, squeezing that core in that neutral spine position. And then we're going to bring your elbow to your knee. So we're going to bring your right elbow, squeeze your core, elbow to knee. We're going to do 5 of these. So under, inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, bring it down. Counterbalancing with the opposite sides of your body. Try not to let that leg or your hand touch the mat. And then we're gonna reach back out after this last one and hold it, deep breaths. 3, 2, last one, and bring it down. We're gonna switch to the other side. This time it's your left arm out in front of you, right leg out behind you. Reach all the way, send the energy out through your fingertips, out through your toes. Find your center of gravity, find your balance, and then we're gonna bring your elbow to your knee. When you're ready, exhale, squeeze your core, bring it in. Inhale, stretch it out. You'll notice that one side is weaker than the other or less stable than the other. This is my less stable side, so it's harder for me to get my elbow to my knee. A little bit off balance there. And this is such a good one for balance, especially with vision loss. The more balance work you do, the better off you're gonna be. And then we're gonna hold it, deep breaths, holding that energy, and then drop it down. And we're gonna sink into another child's pose. And then go ahead and curl your spine all the way up, stacking the vertebrae. And we're gonna roll your shoulders, roll your head around, stretch your neck out. Feel how much looser your spine is now. Roll those shoulders back a few times and roll them forward. Taking deep breaths. Place your hands on your abdomen. Feel the breath coming in and out. Feel the relaxation. Feel the length in your spine. You might notice you feel taller sitting here. Take a few deep breaths. And I hope you all enjoyed this session. Happy St. Patrick's Day.